had Matthew 24:11 through 14. And many false prophets will come. They will lead many astray. And you just look at all the history. You had the Jehovah's Witnesses, Russell, Hayes. You had the Mormon with Joseph Smith. You had Ellen G. White, the Adventist. You had all these groups with all this false teaching. You have the Pope. I'm sure he's leading people astray. Doesn't necessarily have to be a false teacher to lead people astray. That's one reason why the Bible refers to being careful as a teacher. Because something you could say could be misinterpreted and allow people to fall away. But this right here is referring to people who deliberately get up with the false teaching. You got the what is it called? The church movement, emergent church today, trying to teach people incorruptible things. Sin will be everywhere. It'll be cool to love. It will be cool the love of many. Today even the church, so-called church, is starting to follow the ways of the world. Today, the separation from church and the world is becoming skewed. It's becoming marred. You can't tell differences in certain scenarios. The church is wanting to be part of the world, and because of it, the world's coming into the church. When we should have a distinction, a separation between the two. If we put away these false teachings, the separation of the two is going to be there. We'll allow false teachings in that the world loves. We're going to have the world come into church, and it's going to use everything. When we see in the last verse of Judges, they did right what was according to their own heart. That's kind of what's happening at this day. But those who stand to the end shall be saved. Now it falls into a doctrine of Calvinism right here. What is the last one? Perseverance of the saints? Yep, that's what that's talking about. Those that are of faith will stay of the faith because they're held to the faith by Christ, and Christ won't let them fall. This is also referring to kind of how the world's going to cast things our way, and they may knock us down. But if Christ is in us, we're going to be standing. Sometimes we won't be able to stand by our own ability. Sometimes He'll have to lift us up, make us strong. We see in times of trouble, historically, we see Stephen's death. He stood strong. His flesh would have been weak, but he stood strong because he had Christ allowing him to stay strong. And good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world. All nations will hear it. Then finally the end will come. This is one of the things, some people say that there's been no place in the world that has not been preached the gospel before. They just reject it in certain spots. Then some people say, well, there's still certain places that never have heard the gospel. That debatable either way. I could say we can't be for sure. God knows if every place has been preached to. The Bible doesn't say every generation of every place. You see some people, He brought the word to them, and then the next generation, because they were judged. We see that with Moses as Joshua comes in. He said they had their time, their turn. So no one's going to have an excuse why not come to Christ. The end could be near, it could be far off. But the truth is the end will come. And we need to stand by Christ.